So one of the mistakes that students do while they prepare for ethics is that they only have the foundational understanding. They do not go beyond what is required to analyze a particular concept. The second important thing is that you will be giving or getting one ethics touch. And what do you mean by ethics touch? Is that there will be integration of thinkers and quotes. In case or if some citizens are to be killed of some other country, because you cannot have any noble end, and the means for this also needs to be noble in nature. All the sources of making decisions, everything will be covered here. And in the last part, this is the most important part, which is about probity in action. Towards the bottom, we also provide you the common pitfall to avoid. What would be a general student do? Student who is going to get less than 100 marks, and what would be someone who is going to get 130 plus would do? Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Pratik, and in today's session, we'll be talking about ways to maximize our score in ethics paper, especially from the perspective of UPSC Mains 2025. And we'll be looking into the value addition material published by Vision IS and how this material can help us score more marks. So in today's session, what we'll be discussing is the changing nature of the exam and the ways students make mistake in terms of understanding the nature and the demand of the question and how we can address those issues. So first thing is that we need to understand that the paper has changed since its inception in 2013 or 2014, right? So if you look at the nature of question, earlier the questions were mostly factual in nature or very conceptual in nature, which basically asked about the very basic foundational concept. So take a look at this question from the theme of integrity and honesty. So earlier the question would be in terms of what do you understand by integrity or what is EI. But now the question is more application oriented. The question would be integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So essentially this is taken from a quote. It is basically application of the concept of integrity. So now you need better analysis, you need further clarity on the concept, right? So one of the mistakes that students do while they prepare for ethics is that they only have the foundational understanding. They do not go beyond what is required to analyze a particular concept. Similarly, questions on, say, emotional intelligence, question can be, what is EI? Now they are moving towards how. So the transition is very clear. Transition is from what to why and how, right? So this is how you need to prepare in more depth. Then the second transition is in terms of case studies. So earlier the case study would be more lengthy in approach, and they would be, even though they would be lengthy, but they were relatively simplistic in the terms that you would be able to identify the moral dilemma, the ethical concerns very easily. But now the questions are becoming more and more complex, and they are also very much focusing on the administrative dilemmas, and they're focusing on the stakeholder interest and wherever logic, the legal and the ethical concern overlaps. Especially when you look at the questions that now they are asking questions with regard to the cutting edge areas of governance, including issues of water shortage, and how does it, as a district magistrate, you would resolve the issue for farmer protest and demand for closure of industry. So again, there is no specific right and wrong answer here. You need to justify your options that you have taken. So again, the question would be in terms of options available, suitable actions, administrative and ethical dilemmas. So even if you have chosen the right dilemma or right option, the problem would be in justifying your options. So for that purpose, the usage of ethical reasoning is very important, right? The usage of ethical reasoning is important, which is missing in many of the students. Now again, you'll see that recently we have been seeing the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war or the Israel-Hamas war. So war becomes a very important topic as far as ethics case study is concerned. So whenever you write something on this, make sure that you have certain ethical justification. You talk about or you take some input from writers who talk about concept of ethics of war or concept of just war. So for this, you can take help from philosophers such as Thomas or Saint Aquinas or Thomas Aquinas, right? So again, the concept, or even you can use the concept from Bhagavad Gita, right? So the thing is that you need to justify your reasoning through such moral philosophy. Or there could be questions with regard to climate change. There can be case study from this as well. Climate change or the debate between North or South debate. So here also you can invoke some of the ideas given by various scholars, including the ideas of John Rawls, where you can use the concept of difference principle. Similarly, you can again identify various areas. Maybe you can identify ethics of AI, right? You can identify ethics of climate change, or maybe about gender issues, LGBTQ issues. So again, in such cutting edge topics, you need to invoke some of the learnings from the moral thinkers, right? To justify your options that you have taken. So this will give you more boost in terms of your marks. The third change in the pattern of the exam is that there is more weightage to the contemporary ethical issues, not just in the case studies, but also in paper A or paper section 1. Here you'll see that in the recent year, there is larger presence of questions on issues like AI, as I was talking about earlier, then privacy, climate justice, gender, social media manipulation, etc. For example, we have 2 questions for you. The soul of the new law, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, is justice, equality, and impartiality based on Indian culture and ethos. Discuss this in the light of major shift from a doctrine of punishment to justice in the present judicial system. Now, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita was in news last year because of the codification of all these criminal laws. And many of you would have prepared in terms of General Studies paper 2. But here, this question is not about the provisions of this particular code, but it is about how does this change, or how does this provide changes in terms of doctrine of punishment to doctrine of justice, right? So again, we need to ensure that we provide these examples of from Indian culture, Indian ethos, right? So for example, you can give examples of Jainism, Buddhism, or even teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, right? So here you need to provide all these philosophical foundations. Then there was this question on Mission Karma Yogi, is aiming for maintaining a very high standard for conduct and behavior to ensure efficiency for serving citizens and in turn developing oneself. How will the scheme empower the civil servants in enhancing productive efficiency and delivering the services at the grassroots levels? Again, this question can be linked to the topic of foundational values of civil services, right? Foundational values of civil services, and it is widely seen that the basic values such as efficiency, effectiveness, dedication to services has been lacking. Now you can give some examples to substantiate that, and then you can provide examples how this would be a very important tool to enhance the foundational values of civil services in terms of efficiency and delivering these services, right? So again, you need to link it with the syllabus, use certain concepts, and then provide a holistic answer. The other change is with regard to code-based questions. Earlier, the code-based questions would be somewhat simpler in nature, and they would basically be about the major ideas of any thinker, right? Or any major philosopher, especially from Gandhiji or Lincoln, which were very much similar or which were very much familiar to us. But now questions are coming from more complex ideas of thinkers like Immanuel Kant. For example, this question, in law, a man is guilty when he violates the rights of others. In ethics, He is guilty if he only thinks of doing so. So here you need to link it with the syllabus, which is the rules, laws, etc. as source of ethics. Okay. So basically rules or law are the external measures to check or measures to guide behavior, while ethics is the internal compass or the internal check, right? So again, the point is, and you need to understand some of the key philosophy of Immanuel Kant. You need to apply his concept of categorical imperative. You need to apply his concept of ends and means, the synergy between ends and means. You can also compare it with, or you can also use thinking of Mahatma Gandhi here, because Mahatma Gandhi also has given a similar kind of philosophy with regard to such dilemmas, right? So for any noble end, can our means be good or bad? So Immanuel Kant says that our means has to be right all the time, right? And this is basically a categorical imperative because this needs to be universalized, right? So for example, this can have multiple connotations. You can apply some of the current affairs here in terms of just war theory. Can war be justified in case, or if some citizens are to be killed of some other country, but our larger end is met? So in that case, can war be justified? According to Kant, it will not be justified because you cannot have any noble end, and the means for this also needs to be noble in nature, right? So again, the point is that you need to go in deep about the understanding, about the thinking of these thinkers, and then you need to connect with the syllabus and you need to link it with the current affairs. So again, some of the challenges that aspirants face in ethics, apart from the one that we have recently discussed, is that there is no consolidated source for ethics. And there is no starting point like NCERT or any official source which covers all the points which is required for ethics, right? In fact, ethics answers also require some sort of personal example. It is highly dynamic in nature, so it requires some sort of interlinkages with current affairs. And more importantly, it requires some sort of moral reasoning. You need to provide some reasoning which is based on morality. You need to have different understanding of different schools of thought as far as ethics is concerned. And for example, here you have concepts of utilitarianism, versus Kantian concept. Right? So again, you need to understand all these framework of making decisions for ethics. Again, you have concepts like categorical or virtue ethics by Aristotle, things like that, right? So you need to have certain framework, even if you do not invoke them directly, but you need to use the ideas provided by the scholars in the form of a framework. The second problem with regard to ethics is that there is lack of ethical vocabulary or framework. And most of the questions which are there, for example, we discussed two questions, Mission Karma Yogi, and the other one was about BNS. So most of these answers, if you look at it, they will appear as if they are written from the perspective of general studies, paper 2 or paper 3. They will very rarely, they will have some vocabulary which is aligned with ethics. So this is very important that we use the vocabulary of ethics, we use analysis, we use reflective responses, we use moral reasoning. Third is difficulty in handling case studies, because most of the students write case studies in a very mechanical manner. They would just write down some of the very vague, or they will just write down the solutions or the options without backing it up with any moral thinkers, right? So again, even though that will give them certain marks, but they will not get the decent marks that can propel their scores to more than 130, right? And finally, this is the perennial issues for all the candidates, especially when it comes to ethics, that there is time management issues. And here, the most important thing is students tend to maximize their score in a particular question, but what they feel or what they miss out on is to maximize in the entire paper. So your approach or your goal should be to maximize marks in the entire paper. So make sure that you are only replying to the thing which is asked in the paper. Do not give extra information, right? Do not spend too much time on case studies or theory question. Write down whatever is required. And once you understand, once you have a foundational clarity in terms of what is supposed to be written, then you will provide specific answers. So these are the challenges that are faced in ethics. Now, in response to that, Vision IS has launched ethics value added material. You can take a look at this and you can yourself justify or think if it is useful to you or not. So I'll tell you how to use this and why it is important. The first thing it does, it clearly demarcates the syllabus. As you know that ethics is not just one subject, it has 3 major subjects. So in the first, it has part, it has philosophy or moral philosophy to be precise. Then it has psychology. And thirdly, it has public administration or governance. So each of these 3 parts have different weightage in ethics, right? And all of them, in a way, they have some sort of interlinkages, right? The problem with students is either they focus too much on the moral philosophy part, so they will read a lot about moral philosophy, or they will read too much about psychology. They will read Daniel Goleman or the book on emotional intelligence, and they will miss out on this part. So make sure that you have a balanced perspective in all these 3 parts. Especially also, PubAd, do not just use your understanding of governance from paper 2 and try to use your information here. Definitely you can get some ideas and you can enrich your understanding from paper 2 also, but make sure that you have done separate studies here. Now for this, most of the people will suggest you to go for second ARC, right? Or they will ask you to go for Michael Sandel videos, which is freely available on YouTube, right? So these are some of the sources which a lot of people will suggest you to go. But the problem is that they are bulky and they are rarely updated. So that is one thing that this material has tried to address, that it has first categorized all the syllabus in different parts. In fact, the material has 6 parts. The foundation of ethics. So here it will talk about all the topics such as dimensions of ethics, components of ethics, compositions of or consequences of ethics. So all these understanding of ethics is provided here along with the values. The second part will be about human values, and also it will have certain teachings from the moral thinkers as well. Third part is basically about psychology, especially from the perspective of an administrator. Here we'll be dealing with the concepts of emotional intelligence, attitude, persuasion, social influence, etc., along with examples. Then part 4 is about the aptitude and the foundational values of civil services, including integrity, impartiality, neutrality, and etc., etc., compassion, tolerance. Then part 5 will be about the ethics in public administration, the ways to resolve ethical dilemmas, all the sources of making decisions. Everything will be covered here. And in the last part, this is the most important part, which is about probity in action. So how do we understand that the decisions that you are taking are ethically prudent? For that, we have several tools such as Citizen Charter, Social Audit, RTI Act, all these things, right? So again, these in combination will cover all the topics in a very comprehensive manner. And the most important part is that it will focus on conceptual clarity, but not in too depth. It will just give you the basic understanding that is enough for you to write good answer. It will provide you thematic focus, continuity in ethical learning, and more importantly, it will focus on why and how. And as we have seen in the very first part, that the focus of UPSC has shifted from what to why and how. So this is going to be the focus basically on application. And then there are certain 3-pronged approach. So you have various boxes which will talk about the various components of specific concepts, right? So this is will ensure that all your major syllabus part is covered in a very holistic and a very concise manner, okay? The second important thing is that you will be giving or getting one ethics touch. And what do you mean by ethics touch? Is that there will be integration of thinkers and quotes. So one of the ways in which you can make your answer stand out from others is by using quotes that substantiate whatever you have written as part of your content, right? And also you can use insights from classical and modern thinkers. Classical thinkers can be, say, Plato, Aristotle, or even medieval thinkers can be Machiavelli. Modern thinkers can be John Rawls, maybe Dr. Ambedkar, or even Mahatma Gandhi, right? So modern thinkers, it is basically, it combines thinking from modern as well as classical philosophers, right? Then they will also provide you certain quotes which is relevant from any particular topic. Then in the boxes, you will also see some of the trivia, some of the important factoids which you can directly use as part of your case studies or examples. The third important aspects of the value-added material is that it also provides you important current affairs linkage. It connects the abstract ethical concepts with real world development. So here, for example, we have given various, for corporate governance, the examples of Wells Fargo is given. Or for digital privacy, the example of Facebook is given, right? So again, these examples will definitely enrich your writing. And fourthly, moral reasoning is provided. So all the chapters include ethical dilemmas or micro case studies. So even though we have a separate document on case studies, but sometimes it is very useful to use the thinkers from case study or from the part 1 to integrate that with that of case studies. So how do you do that organically? It is only when such case studies is presented to you theme wise. So we provide theme wise case studies or micro case studies where you are forced to take decisions and use the ideas of various moral philosophers, right? Then fifth, lastly, we have deconstructing the PYQs from the topics. So every topic is also given certain weightage, certain PYQs is also given a weightage, whereby we not just give you the questions which have been framed from this, but we also try to deconstruct it so that you understand what should be the do's and don'ts that you should be following. And now the important thing is that we also provide you the ethical aspects as well. So how you can add value to the particular question by using concepts from ethics. And more importantly, towards the bottom, we also provide you the common pitfall to avoid. What would be a general student do? Student who is going to get less than 100 marks, and what would be someone who is going to get 130 plus would do. So this common generalization trap you should be avoiding at all cost, and what is something that should be there in your answer. Again, this is not supposed to be a model answer, but in this line you can write or approach your answers. Finally, the overall approach is that we tend to cover not just this material is not going to just cover the foundational aspect. So foundational aspects will be there, but in very brief, so that you can quickly revise the concept. But the more idea would be on the value addition part. The value addition, especially with regard to the analytical aspects, from where the questions are coming and from the application skills. Okay. So for section A, what you can do in the theory questions, use the conceptual summaries, PYQ discussions, and thinkers code to formulate high quality written answers. For part B, section B, use the ethical frameworks and administrative examples to structure, argue, and defend choices with moral clarity and realism. So apart from that, we also have an ethics case study document also. You can also refer to that. There also we have provided certain frameworks which will allow you to write very good case studies. So that's it for today's for this session. And let me tell you how you can get access to this document. Go to VisionIS website, and within that you will find the tab for resources. From resources, go and check the value added material, GS, and all the material, not just ethics, all the material which is there for value addition will be present here. So here you can download the ethics value added material. Fine, so that is it from my side. I hope this session was helpful to you. All the best. Thank you so much.